Hello and welcome back to the finish line and the one we've all been waiting for. The Paddy Power meeting at Cheltenham. 3 days of absolute beautiful jumps racing. So we're going to go through the best races of the 3 days, the main ones and all that. But we did promise you an inside info. And he's back again. Jason, how are we? How's Easysland?
Yeah, inside info I don't know, but we'll fill you in the best we can. Yeah, he's great, lads. Lovely to be back and can't wait for this weekend now, or Friday I should say. Fingers crossed now, we're on the right way to March and this is a great starting point.
Are you on the way over already?
I'm over here. I'm actually in a hotel in Lambourne right now as we speak.
Everything go to plan on the way over?
Oh God, yeah, not a bother now. I was 100% prepared. Everything's done correctly. All the COVID tests are in place and everything is done and fine. There was a lot of head stress. I drove to London last night to make sure I had results straight this morning and no, thank God now the worst of it is behind us. We're looking forward to Friday.
Good. How's he been working? Is he full of himself, ready to go?
Oh Jesus, yeah, he's always full of himself, that fella. He's in great form now. He's obviously it's his first run of the year. You wouldn't have him drilled to full max, but he's ready to run and he's done his work and he's correct and he's ready to go.
We can take it though, Jace. I think that he's going to be fairly straight if you're going to come over to this. There was an option in Compiègne today, I think, was it? You could have run it.
He won it last year actually on his way to Cheltenham in December, but it turned out that he didn't have the prep run that he had last year before it, so they've decided to maybe just come over to here, maybe what might be a smaller field. But look, the two of them looked at very similar races. Obviously, Tiger Roll is in the one now on Friday, but sure, we've beaten him before, and if he beats us again, so be it. But it'll be a great race anyway, and yeah, sure, he'd be straight. He's quite a forward going horse. You know, he does plenty of work at home. He doesn't need to be running there. You know.
And I say you'd be quite confident then getting weight off Tiger Roll as well, even on the back of the absolute whooping you gave him in Cheltenham at the festival.
I'd imagine the two horses would be at a very similar point in their preparations. You know, it's only November, and we'd probably all have March and April in mind. You know, but I'd say they're at very similar points in their preparation. I don't know. I haven't spoke to anybody from there, but I'd be surprised now if there was either of them very, very, very grilled for this weekend. You know, but it's a lovely place to start. The ground will be nice and looks a nice race. There's only 9 of them in it, so it's ideal.
And about the ground as well, it seems to be coming in your favour a lot more than Tiger Roll now. So,
they're good to start. They're good to soft all around. I think with a bit of rain forecast tomorrow night.
We're after getting, I'd say, about a week's worth of rain the last day over here, and it's on the way over there. So I'd say you'd be hovering on the soft side come Friday, hopefully.
I'd love soft ground. The softer the better now.
Go on, Tom, what you want to say?
I was just going to say, Jesse. Yeah, would he go on better ground, or it can get very, very soft in front?
No, even when he won, he's gone away on better ground. You know, he's fine, but obviously he's got a lovely round action. The ground is, he wouldn't be running otherwise. Now the ground is not really an issue, but obviously nobody wants fast ground and but no, the ground should be fine. The boys in Cheltenham are going to do a great job, I'm sure of it.
So while we have you, we'll jump forward a few months. Festival is over. You have to beat Tiger Roll again. Is the National the main plan this year?
Well, look, I'm not the trainer, but we went out there on a little interview a couple of weeks ago saying that was the probable aim, and I suppose it hasn't changed. I'd say the National now probably is the main aim. You know, he was too young for it last year, even though it wasn't ran. He was too young. He's only 6. People probably have to remember he's only 6. You know, he's not a youngster by French terms, but he's a youngster by English terms. In French terms, he's a granddad almost. But no, I'd say the National now. I'd love to see him end up in the National. Sure, that's not my call now. I'm only glad they're rising every morning, but it's great to be associated with him all the same.
We'll just touch on one of the horses that's out there coming out in the last few 2 or 3 months. Leberry, he looks like an absolute weapon. Have you always thought this when you first seen that this lad is going to be the next superstar?
Well, when he won his debut as a 3-year-old, he won the Prix Fino, I think it's called. It's a race that kind of projects superstars from the get go, and a lot of them were sold on. But he's not, he's, as you said, he's a machine. He's very, very good. But I say he's even surprised everybody with the way he won there the other day. Now he put a grade 1 to sleep with ease. It was a great race. It was a lovely race. They all came to challenge him in the second last and the last. And he just showed them how good he is. He really stuck the head out and pulled clear. Those are exciting races. They're 4-year-olds Group 1s over fences. Sure, you wouldn't get the likes of that in the UK. There's this lovely races to watch. The way he won it, that was very, very impressive.
What I liked about when he won the last day was the horse came up next to him, and the second he got company, he was just gone again. He looks like he just loves racing. He's unbelievable at jumping. I doubt there's plans of you to come over to England with the race plan for horses his age over France, would it be?
Oh, Jesus, it wouldn't be that logical now, I'd say, for a while anyway, I suppose I wouldn't have a clue now, but just me knowing the French system the way I do, they said before the 4-year-olds going to 5-year-olds probably have a difficult job going up against the older horses, but over the last 3 years, a lot of horses have gone on to win the French Gold Cup as 5-year-olds. After winning the race, he won on Sunday, so for me, that's logical to go there, for the Grand Prix de Paris in May. But obviously, they make a decision to that sooner to the time, but he looks very good, doesn't he? So
there's a bit of a...
He's by a lovely stallion, G-Mix. He won, actually David Cotton won a grade 1 on G-Mix around Altai, and he's now becoming a stallion, which is great. It's great for Ara de Leon where he stands. It's his first crop of 4-year-olds this year, so he's had a grade 1 winner in his first crop.
I was just about to say that, Jace. There's actually a bit of a story to the breeding of him.
I could have presented the podcast myself there, couldn't I?
You could have, yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. It's something we don't really see. Nickname, I think, is the only horse I can, and Midnight Legend, obviously, but of horses that were jumpers that stay in tires and then go on to have a stallion career. It's just not done here, but it's quite.
Alderbrook won the champion hurdle, I think, as well.
Yes.
And then there's one last year that he won the. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right in saying he won the same race last year as Leberry did this year. Goliath the Burley, and he's gone on to stud now, and he's only 4 and he's got the stud, but I think he was beaten once, and same thing, as impressive as Leberry, and he's gone straight to stud, so I assume we'll be seeing his 4-year-olds now in 2023,
And it is quite a common thing in France to see that, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting more and more common, I suppose they're just looking for fresh blood and new blood, and the horses are proven tough, and they're proven very precocious over here, and it seems to be working. So,
and just to touch on the prize money and like the option of coming over here with a horse like the Berry, he's had 8 runs, he's won 7 of them, and he's won €309,000 in prize money. Like, it's a colossal amount of money.
That's with 40% less this year as well, on the grade 1s.
Yeah, which is insane.
With the COVID. Yeah, well, like Altai the other day, there was 9 races, and even 2 of the races were the equivalent of a 0 to 115, 120 handicap, and there was 994,000 prize money on the card over 9 races. We see more and more of it lately. People coming over for the UK, hunting for money in France, and they're having great success. The likes of the Leeches there, and a couple of owners heading across, and pocketing a few quid. It's becoming more and more, and it's very, very logical. It's the prestige in England can't be matched, and obviously I assume that's why we're coming over with Easysland. It's not a money thing, I suppose, but there's 2 sides to it. But it's very, very interesting, France. Anyway, I love the system over here. I'd be a big fan of France racing now.
We've done it with the horse we've got as well there, Zoffany Bay, and he's won 2 claimers. He's had 3 runs. He's won twice, unseated the first the other time, but in those 2 races, he's won 16,700 quid in prize money, something like that. It's
and not had hard races on the back of it as well.
Yeah, it's and they're 2 claimers. Like, he's running to an okay level, but you'd get that for decent handicaps over here. So it's just a different level altogether.
I've been a long time advocate for it now, but it's starting to happen a little bit more and more. But it's very, very interesting. And while I'm on here, if anybody's looking for a hand maybe to come over and try it, don't be afraid to give me a shout. It's something I'm very interested in doing.
And Jace, just my last one for you anyway is just on Le Berry. Is there a reason he wasn't sold? I know majority of him is owned by his breeders, but I'm sure there's huge offers for him.
Well, I haven't heard offers, but I'm sure there was offers. But I'd imagine that's why he's a great promoter for their stud, isn't he? And if he's as good as they think he is, he's going to win that money anyway. So I don't know, and I wouldn't like to say, but I'd love to own him. I know that much.
They're making a fortune off him anyway.
Yeah,
I can't believe. Do you know he won the Grade 3 there 3 weeks ago? I can't believe he opened up 7-4.
He opened up 7-4.
He opened up 7-4, not for the weekend just gone.
The
time before that, but even the weekend just gone, he was even money. It's like that's like going down to the bank and just walking in the door, taking the money and walking out and say thanks.
It's illegal robbery.
It was a great race, like. I'd say that the second horse now is probably he's a nice horse as well. Probably wants a little bit farther. He might be in England, maybe, I don't know.
Is that the horse that made to Silviniaco Conti that was second to him?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, he's a lovely horse. He just looks like another year might do him the world of good. He's just still a bit light framed,
Look, you have an absolute monster on your hands either way.
Yeah, it's a couple of monsters. One Friday.
Oh,
that's it.
Here's me going to say, and go on. Easysland.
There we are.
Right, before we let you go, Jay, one horse for the year, bar Easysland and Le Berry, that you're looking forward to, that you have in the stable, that not necessarily is going to run in England or anything like that.
Do we have in the stable?
Yeah.
One horse to follow. Don't say Zoffany Bay either.
Do put the markers on it, please.
That we have to follow in the stable. There's a lovely filly there. She was second today, Queen de Burley. She was second beaten in Buzz today, and she once we get her to where we want her to be at home, she'll probably be nice, Queen de Burley. I'd say, but there's a load of them there. It's hard to single out one or two. There's a bunch of lovely 2-year-olds, and I'm probably not the best place to say it, but I can say they're nice anyway. But David will tell you more about it, but you probably won't be getting him onto an Irish speaking podcast now. But there's a lovely bunch of them there. But yeah, there's a couple of nice ones there, Queen de Burley and Eden de Burley. Just a lot of nice horses. It's a pleasure to be working there in any case anyway.
It sounds like a great place to be working.
Well, you're all welcome over when this COVID is over and finished.
Oh, Tom, sorry.
Loads of wine and baguette and cheese and berets and all that crack.
We'll be there.
From what I've seen with your week with the blogger, I can't wait to go over.
I never thought I'd be advanced in that and trying with the blogger inside the sulky.
Oh, no. It was the best 5 minutes I've ever seen on Twitter my whole life.
Did you see I got him on a horse?
Yeah, he was absolutely bricking it.
I'll tell you what, I started trotting on Easysland in front of him, and his horses started following me, and he was like, "Yes, stop." He wasn't confident then, mate.
We get him in the charity race soon and see what he's like.
Somebody said that to the blogger, he loved it.
I was telling Jason my plan. I reckon it's a good idea, Andrew. We just need a few more on board.
Oh yeah.
Our horse race and social media charity race.
Just give me about 6 months notice.
I'll train him.
You train him, yeah.
Tom, you didn't hold a license either. You'll be in the lineup.
Yeah, I got about 4 stone to lose, but yeah, I'd be in the lineup.
Together, Tom. We'd be grand.
I bet you still look better in a finish than I did on Got the Urge, bye.
I try not to hit him after the line anyway.
There we are. I'll leave you on it, boys.
Thanks very much, Jason.
Appreciate it. Talk today.
Good luck.
Bye.
Now, charity race sorted, trip to France sorted, wine, baguettes.
I reckon that's a good idea. We'll explain it a bit, will we?
Yeah, go on, go for it.
So I reckon that we should have a charity race for like social media horse racing people. So you all know who you are, all the people on Twitter, a lot of people who are younger than us. But there's a lot of people there who ride horses as well. And I think we could do it. We're going to have to do it on half-breds. You can't expect people just to learn how to ride a racehorse. But if we did it on hunters or half-breds, it'll be savage.
No, not hunters or half-breds. We're going to go in a whole hogger. We're not doing it at all. I want to be on front. I want to get Petty Mouchoir and just go on the front and go off like the clapper sort of crack.
Yeah. Details to be discussed, but I reckon there's a few of them we should reach out to and see if they're up for it. We do it for charity, obviously. And
there's one that happened. I doubt it'll happen until COVID's over, but the one that happens at Punchestown every year at the festival, that could be a plan.
Yeah, I know. I think we'll have to have our own separate one. I don't think they'd let us into that one.
They would for a crack. I have good connections to Punchestown. I'm in Godham, so we might. Right, back to the racing. We just touched on the cross country chase there. I think we're all on Easysland. We're on them at 11 days. Tap on the back, well done, lads. I told you to check the price. Yeah, Tom's in, balls deep. Can't believe you put 800 quid on it. Fuck me.
Well, as long as it wins, but today was a bit hairy scary back in shorties as well. So, Dave's favourite horse over hurdles today.
No.
Ranch Hand.
Oh, yeah. Right, we get it. We're on losing track now. So, is there a point really going into Tiger Road? Probably the ground is going to go against him. He ran out at an all-right race on the flat. Ground's going to go against him. I think Easyland is a shoe-in to win, especially getting the weight off Tiger Road. Do we agree? Easyland, anyway.
Yeah, I think it's some race though. Some of these used to be like, oh yeah, the cross country, Enda Bolger will win it, but it's
becoming a good race in its own.
This and the Paddy Power are the two races I'm most looking forward to this weekend.
We have Potter's Corner in as well. He's the Welsh national winner. Like he's going to add a bit to it. You have King's Wells Teacher, who always runs well as well. But if you hand on heart look at it properly, it's between the top two. Even though it is a handicap now, and the rest of them are getting lumps off them, they're proving around there. They stay it well, if not further. It's impossible to look past the front two.
Yeah. The one we missed and we've messed up here, we haven't asked Jason about, is the second David Cotton horse. However, he wasn't in too much of a rush to mention it. So we'll take it. Yeah, I've just seen he's got that in it, but we'll take it that he'll beat him anyway. So look, Easysland for me, I think they're both gonna be just ready to start off. But I think Easysland is maybe the younger horse and a bit easier to get fit, maybe. So
I think Easysland ready to start off is better than the rest of them fully revved up. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, well, Tiger Roll maybe not, but Tiger Roll is still a very good horse.
Oh, I'm not taking anything away from Tiger Roll. It's the rain that's had to come here, that's on the way to England. It's going to be soft ground. He's not at his best. He's seen it at the festival. He doesn't have that turn of foot. He doesn't travel in it as well. Easyland, for me, wins it by a good few lengths. That's me. Yeah? Move on?
Move on.
Right, we're jumping back a race before us. 4-runner novice chase, but it's actually a really good one. We have Protectorat. I said it was close enough, man. Jesus. Southfield Stone, Mossy Fen, and Paint the Dreams. Dave, 4 in it. Who do you like?
I'll be honest, I don't know.
Okay, Tom.
I don't know. I love it.
Honesty is the best policy.
Look, this is one I haven't really got a strong opinion on it. there's probably not been much between the top two, but Protectorate is getting a bit more weight. Is getting a little bit of weight. I'd probably go for him. I don't think that was the greatest race in the world that Southfield Stone won, or that he won it very well. That Pillion was useless basically after it hit the first or whatever. So, yeah, a good race, an interesting race, but one I'll be watching without betting.
I really like Southfield Stone. I think he's going to take a hell of a beating in this. The jumping around Cheltenham the last day was unbelievable. I know he only won by about a length and a half or something like that. He done nothing when he hit the front. He jumped fence to fence. He get a lead into it this time. So I think Protectriat. Shut up.
Just go on here.
Goes on the front. He get a nice lead into it. He'll jump the last. Up next to start, halfway up the run, and he'll go off. I think it's as simple as that. I think he's in a 4-runner race. I think he should be at least even money. I think he'll take a hell of a lot of beating. Mossy Fenn kind of blew up the last day. As Dave said before, he thinks he'll probably need further than 2 mile 4. Painted Dream 16-1 ran a nice race the last time, but I think Southfield Stone will take a hell of a lot of beating in this. And now, on to Saturday, because that was a bad start. We go 140 and Grade 2 Novice Chase, which looks an interesting race. We have Fusel Raffles, Eduardo Allen, Kellistan, who's coming off a win on a flat and bat, Sarkarva, LePatriot, and Gumball. How did you say it? Sarkareva. I can't pronounce French horses. So do you know anything about this race this time?
I do.
Yeah, go for this time.
I'd wait to see who Robbie Power picks, because he's obviously going to choose between the Tizzard horse and the Henry the Bromhead horse, because he's the...
What's it called?
Zachareva. He's the retained rider for that owner. But I side with Eldorado Allen, simply for the fact that he won first time out when the Tizzard horses were absolutely...
Gets really into it.
The Tizzard horses were absolutely falling apart. And I think he's one of the only ones that won out of the 80 runners. I think he had 3 winners or something. I like him, and I think he'll put up a good show.
Rule out Fusel Raffles? Too short?
I don't like it.
Tom, who would you like in this one?
Yeah, again, pretty close. I thought probably just siding with Fusel Raffles, although he's a very short price. Thought Eldorado Allen jumped well last day, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just not convinced on him still. He's done it to me before, where I thought he's probably a very good horse. Stolen Silver and Zanza, who are behind him, have gone on and finished second and third behind All Mankind. So that's not bad form, I don't think. So for me, it is between the top two, and I would Fusel Raffles is probably the most logical selection, isn't he?
Yeah, he is really. His form is the best there, but at 11 to 10 is not really a price you want to be rolling in, and none of us chases it really, even though he is 2 from 2. I'm taking a chance with Zachareva. 7 to 1, I think, is way too big for what he's what she's done. She's beat Heaven Help Us by 16 odd lengths. She's then went on to beat Polished Steel in a listed race around Punchestown, where she was out the back the whole way, creeped into it, jumped the last, and took off like a rocket. I think there's a lot more left in this, and I think 7 to 1 is a big price for her. I can't have Eldorado Allen, especially after seeing Stormy Ireland today. That's who he beat. She jumped like an absolute pig that day. She jumped even worse today. You'll never see her over a fence again. Mark my words.
We said it last week. She should go back a while.
She's a terrible jumper. Kellistan is interesting because just on Paul Nichols' horses, he can run the R Dog Bar top of the game because he's out again.
Look.
Whoopsies. Gumball needs to find a lot with Shoes and Rattles, but he came on a lot. He won next time out, but I think Sakariva 7-1 is a great bet, and I think there's a lot more left in her.
She's just the type now that she doesn't have the form anywhere near Fusel Raffles, but she gets a bit of weight. But if Henry brings her over, he's not bringing her over for the fun of it,
He does it the whole time at this meeting. He done it last year. I put the kettle on. She had no right to win that race, and she won it. And she ended up being the Arkle winner.
You wouldn't be surprised if she ran very well in that. To be fair,
so I'm keen on Zakariva. Dave,
Eldorado Allen,
and Tom, you are
Fusel Raffles.
Right, on to the main race of Saturday, the Paddy Power Gold Cup, where we have Saint Sonny, who Harry Durham thinks has absolutely chucked him when he told us the last time when he came on the show. We've Simply the Bets, Cheltenham Festival winner, Master Fisher, Al Dancer, Slate House, Happy Diva, Dave's Love Child, Sure Delac, Spirit of the Game, and so on. You put up a few weeks ago, Simply the Bets 10-1. Money's come from. Everything looks in his favour. Tom, he is surely going to go close off this mark.
Yeah, I hope so. It's a very, very competitive race. The case to be made for Simply the Bets is he was a rapid improver last year. He improved from 125 up to 157 over fences. He was very good. He was very good at Cheltenham, beating Happy Diva. Looked a bit green almost as well, and quickened well up the hill. He was backed as if defeat was out of the question as well that day. He gave Imperial Aura £4, and he beat him the time before that. Imperial Aura has come out and won at the festival and won a listed race now since, and has been well supported for the Ryanair. I think 157 is fair. I don't think he's thrown in off of it, but I would still, if he's the horse I hope he is, he can be competitive off it. He's gone very well fresh before. He's 2 from 2 at Cheltenham, and his trainer Harry Whittington is in really good form. 9 out of his last 16 have finished in the first 4. So he's getting short enough now at 5-1, 9-2. I hope a few of you did get on at 10-1. That was a bit too big. And yeah, look, I'm still very hopeful he can do the business. There are a few dangers though.
So on what Tom said, off his mark, Tom thinks he should be going close if he's the horse that he thinks he is. I think he should be winning if he's any hope of going grade 1 form. He should be winning this and winning it not easily, but snugly, to say. You like him as well. What chance would you give him?
Yeah, I think it's all there for him to run a solid race. The trainer form, his form around Cheltenham. I think he's got not a super high mark, a mark he can still win off. But I agree with you. If he wants to be becoming a grade 1 horse later in the season, he needs to win. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say he needs to win like cozily or anything, but he does need to win. Because he's at the top of the weights, and the grade 1 horses win handicaps when they're in the top of the weights. I do think he'll win, and I think Happy Diva will run well as well. She always runs well at Cheltenham.
What chances would you give Mr. Fisher, 4th in the march last year behind Min and Foheen and so on? He's off 11 stone 9. Give him a chance on his form in that, or is it ground against him?
His price shortened up there in the last few days, and I wasn't too surprised to see it either. I'm not too worried about the ground for him. The one thing I would say, though, is his run in the marsh and Saint Sonnet's run in the marsh. There was £1 between them then, and there was 8.5 lengths between them. Mr. Fisher beat Saint Sonnet. There's £8 between them here. So I think that's going to bring them a lot closer. Look, Saint Sonnet is the favourite. He's the favourite based on some part of his form. He's also based on Nichols's run of form and hype around him, I think. Harry seemed to think he was thrown in. he could be absolutely thrown in, to be honest. Off 147, that horse could easily be £10 well in. And in that case, we're probably not going to beat him. But when we were looking at this race, he was 5-1. Simply Bets was 10-1, so that's why we put him up. Slate House has got good form around Cheltenham. He's a horse I've always liked, but I just think he lets you down when it gets to the big day.
Yes, he does.
Numerous times.
I can never catch him.
Hard to say that about a ground.
And he failed. Sure, look.
He was going to win last year.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of money for him as well. He's at the half in price in the last 2 days.
Look, he's a Grade 1 winner, and he's off 152. He's run well around Cheltenham. There's a case to be made for him. Sierra de Lac is the other one. First time out for David Pipe, who's in pretty decent form from Nick Williams. He was still in front just about when he fell in the race against Simply the Bets 2 out.
Fell. He tried to kill himself.
I was like, he did fall.
How Lizzie Kelly got up off that, I will never, ever know. I thought she was dead. Like, stone cold dead. Stone cold dead.
Had got 2 wins at Cheltenham before that, though.
Good Cheltenham.
Likes the course. So, he's another one that, you couldn't rule out. It is a competitive race, lads.
One who I want to throw in at a kind of about 18-20-1 is Puerto Rico. He's back to he's £1 lower now than he was when second in the Peterborough Chase behind Top Notch. That was his first time out last season. This is the first time out this season. He had horses like Le Baguewa, Burn Survivor, and ASO behind him that day. He was 25 lengths then behind Simply the Bets in the handicap at Cheltenham. I think he runs well fresh. He's £1 lower than he is then. I think he'd be a cracking each way about 20-1. Because there's a few in this that I could easily rule out, the likes of Al Dancer. I can't have him. He wins fresh. He does nothing for the rest of the season. Slate House, I couldn't trust him. Happy Diva will run a race, but not really. I don't really fancy her. Dave does. Sierra de Lac needs to put that fall behind the Spirit of the Games. Spirit of the Games. He'll find 2 or 3 better than him. Berlin Das, no. Cool Cody, no. ASO, he has to recover from his fall in National. And then you're down to Puerto Rico, who's gone from 66 into 16. The value is probably gone, but he's on a nice mark. He's shown that he runs well off this mark against better horses. So I think he's not a bad shout each way if no one fancies getting stuck into the 4s or 9-2 and Simply in the Bets.
Good race, though, isn't it? When you look at some of those.
Doesn't have a bit more appeal when it's called the Paddy Power Gold Cup instead of the Best Victor.
It's just better. It's better back than all. I understand the Mr. Fisher thing as well, but he'd need a significant career best to win it. And I just think Simply the Bets is the sexier horse and the Ryanair horse for later in the year.
He's a good-looking boy, Dave.
He is. He's a fine-looking specimen.
There's not much we can say about people on this. Right.
Yeah, well, I don't mind. I mean, called worse and said worse about.
Right, fine.
You've been called worse in the last hour, Dave. Than
I got slated in that group.
Absolutely torn apart.
I was just fucking lying on my bed trying to chill out before the podcast, and then beep, beep, ping, 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 messages everywhere.
Can we talk about why that conversation started?
Because it's always going over hurdles.
No.
It's not happening. It's just not happening. Danny Mullins is there, right?
We're going to be here forever. Can we just go through the race?
You can.
No, very moody.
I'm in podcast mode.
He's getting hangry. Dave
Mullins is there every night, I'd say, going, but Daddy, please. But Daddy, please.
Please,
Dad, please, please, Dad, please. The same one you tell me to try.
Andrew, I'm sure your kids do that, do they?
Yeah, it works. It works, Tom.
But that's my worry now, because you've got Danny Mullins there going, but Dad, I really want to ride her over hurdles. Because why wouldn't he? Who blames him, though? Why wouldn't he? But I can't. I still can't have it.
You can't have it because you cashed out.
No, I saw an interview with Tony yesterday, and he said the Ascot Gold Cup is the plan. But as I said to you, and money does come into this. Money is what makes the world go round. She's going to be running next year in races with hundreds of thousands. Why would she go and run in a couple of maiden hurdles worth $8,000 and then go run for 30 grand? Like, it's just.
Do you know what it is? And I didn't want to say it in the group either. You are just absolutely cracking because you cashed out your bets and you are fuming inside.
Yeah, I just said that.
You are literally, you're giving all the reasons that won't happen because you want to believe them. All the words are coming out, but they're out there and you're like, oh my God, imagine if she runs in the mirror.
I am a little bit, yeah. But it won't happen.
Please don't make it happen.
I texted you and Andrew as well, and I said, if Danny is that hard up on trying to get her over hurdles,
It'll happen.
He knows she's better than what Willie has. And Willie knows he'll win it with what he has. So if she's better than what Willie has, she's definitely going to win
it. Yeah. I don't know. I just can't see how
what can happen. It's not money. It's Cheltenham. Oh, I had a winner at Cheltenham Festival. Who cares if you had a winner in France? Cheltenham. Why is Easysland over here? Cheltenham.
He wants a Cheltenham winner. He does, like.
It's all Cheltenham, Tom. He'll be listening. He'll have little Cheltenham signs coming out and see. No, Zoe, no.
No.
Please, God, no.
No, with legs like that, lads, he worries about her every time she runs. No chance.
I love her.
You just keep telling yourself that, Tom.
Yeah.
that was a defeat. Right. Final selection for the Paddy Power Gold Cup. Tom.
I gotta stick with Simply the Bets now.
Dave.
Simply the Bets.
I go Puerto Rico to change it up a bit.
What? Why do you do that, like?
Each way.
Just pick Simply the Bets.
Hey, Dave, wait for Twitter now on Saturday afternoon. The aeroplane, Simply the Bets.
Oh, what up now? I haven't backed. Where are you getting this thing? I haven't backed Simply the Bets.
Yeah, but he's going to win. Can't you just pick him, like?
No, I backed Saint Sonny. I don't want to back him.
You backed Saint Sonnet
at 12-1.
All right, okay.
Hey, Tom.
Simply the Bets.
I got value, Tom.
Come on, Dave.
Value I got.
You did get value at 12-1.
Yeah, what's wrong? Just because I don't like it, don't have to agree with you the whole time.
This is an obvious one. Like, I just think it's obvious. And you should not be picking it, a rag.
Me and Dave agree on this.
Constant Mr. Seconditis there.
Yeah, but this will stop the seconditis.
Yeah,
I've started with the seconditis as well now the last 2 days, so.
Aha.
A bit worrying.
Right. On to Sunday. Grade 3 handicap chase over 3 miles 3. Hard enough to get through. Pick the horse out of it, but we have West Approach, Yala Enki, Discorama, Captain Drake, Clotcap, Ramsey the Tile, Big River, Who Are the Bear? What? Ramsey the Tile.
Ramsey is the Tay.
Tay. Same difference.
Tile.
3 different pronunciations. Who cares? Not going to win. Dave, you take this away.
Right. I tell you what this is.
Oh, he really looked into this one. He got right.
This is like a veteran's chase.
I love him.
I love it. Tom don't like him. I'm all for one of these at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
And this is like a veteran's chase. But West Approach don't know how to win. I hate him. Discorama, I swore after Cheltenham, I am never backing him again.
Until he's done today.
No. I'm going to go with a trainer I don't like, but a horse I like. Ramsey's the Tay.
T-E-I-L-L-E. Doesn't even sound like that. Tilly.
It's French.
It's French, mate.
Ring Jason, ask him how to pronounce it.
He has been running in handicaps with a lot of weight. He's getting a little bit of weight. He's not top weight in this. He ran last year in the festival in what I think was one of the best novice races at the festival for a good couple of years. The Albert Bartlett. And they thought he was good enough to win that. Clearly not with the horses that came out.
Useless.
Who thought he was good enough to win that?
And the Pipes did.
Sure, what do they know?
He ran in the French champion hurdle, which was run kind of at a different date because of COVID. And he actually ran okay in it. He
He was beaten out of sight.
We're fucking shit, Dave. They had money on him as well, and he was useless.
He was being hold up now.
He-
10, 20. He was beat over 27 lengths.
yes, he blew up and then ran on again.
Stop.
Right? Crack over fences, going to suit him. And as much as I wouldn't be the biggest fan of David Pipe, this is one meeting that Pipe targets or used to.
He might target it, but he's still shit at
Or
it.
used to target it, and he used to get a good few winners at this meet. So I'm going to go with Ramsey's the tile, just to make it easier.
Tom, your spin on it.
He's
Take
taking.
that horse because I backed him last time and he was shite.
You want to do it? Get your money back.
No.
Dave, I looked at this race and I didn't realise until you just said it why I didn't like it. And I was looking at it, I was like, why don't I fancy anything?
Chase.
It is literally a veteran's chase.
I
And
love it.
don't like any of them.
So, on to me, so, yeah?
Basically, yeah. I mean, West Approach.
Tom, agree with me on this. We're all in and simply the bets. Back Ramsey's the Taya. You get your money back.
I'm not backing that horse again.
Come on, Tom.
This
West Approach won it last time. What did I land on? I landed on Captain Drake because he's 7. He
In other words,
His legs move faster than the rest.
Harry Fry is in good form. The start of this season, this horse won well on his reappearance. In his reappearance, you know he's going to stay all day. Brian Carver takes £5 off him, and he gets on well with him. He was second in the Midlands National over 4 mile 2. He hasn't run at Cheltenham before, but you know there's a first for everything. He hasn't seated a couple of times, which is a bit of a negative. But yeah, he's going to be my suggestion as slightly unexposed.
I'm so surprised you didn't put up Yala Enki because you must have put him up about 12 times last year when he changed to Paul Nichols. Every single race. Remember he said it. This is the time he's going to win.
I think the time he did win, he didn't back.
He didn't.
Right.
So I hate these horses.
Right, this is easy. This is plain and simple. This Grandma finally gets.
doesn't know how to win.
He's going to win.
He doesn't know
I
how
tell
to
you now for a fact he's going to win.
Paul Nolan is in terrible form.
He doesn't know how to win. Andrew, right?
Is the shut up. He's going to win. He's great form around Cheltenham. He's after having a prep run around Galway. He was beating us not. He's going to win. He's going to win.
Andrew, he got beat by LeBroy at Cheltenham in the 4 miler. And bear in mind, I picked out LeBroy that year, and we had Discorama as well. That horse hasn't won a race since, and never ever will win a race again.
Let's do it.
He won't.
He will. Match bet.
No, I meant LeBroy. Discorama might. LeBroy won't. But that's how bad Discorama is.
You just contradicted yourself there. Then.
No, LeBroy will never win a race again. Hence, how can you keep going in on Discorama? He just don't know how to win.
He will win on Sunday. Sunday. He'll win.
Go on a match bet. Ramsey's the tie.
Done. And another one who I also like, Big River.
So he likes 2. He's not sure of Discorama. He likes another horse.
No, that will run a good race.
Paul Nolan has had 1 winner out of his last 77 runners. And who was that?
Exhibition.
Yeah, and he's going to have 2 on Sunday.
No, you'll have 1.
You'll have
Latest
2.
exhibition.
So, Big River, 3 1/4 lengths behind condition at the festival. He's up to 143. He runs 10 stone 11. Acts around Cheltenham. Acts on heavy ground, which I presume is going to be on Sunday with the rain. He's another good chance, but this is probably heart over head. Discorama, he's the last chance he's getting. I think everything is there for him. He's a nice weight. He's 11 stone 4. He's acts around there. It's 3 mile 3. It's good staying trip. We're all going to have a disco.
What are you doing Sunday?
What am I doing Sunday?
Yeah, because if you're not racing here, I'm
going to watch Discorama win.
I'm video calling you when he loses. I'm going to told you so.
Well, I'll video call you every time I tell you not to back him. Don't back him. Don't back him. Don't back him. They won't sometimes just don't listen. Anything at a bigger price? And I'm going to ask you, Tom.
Don't look at me anyway. God knows.
No.
No. Okay. Discorama for me. Tom couldn't give a shit.
Ramsey Tatay for me.
Harry Fryhorse. I've forgotten his name already. Hey,
Captain Drake.
See?
that's the one, Dave.
On to 225, the Sholer Chase over 2 miles. The one race I think we all agree on. We have definitely the side over 2 miles again. Get the hint, lads. He's not 2 miler. Put the kettle on. Rue Vif, Store Royale, Riders on the Storm, Duke de Geneva, and Forest Bean. I think we're all in agreement, and we've all backed at a big price. Put the kettle on is the one they have to beat. Tom. Dave.
Yeah.
Stalling, Tom.
I texted Tom yesterday morning and said, what's the best price you can get and put the kettle on? And it went from there. Arkle winners have a good record when they go into their second season. Actually have a great record in Champion Chase.
Can you come into the picture?
Jesus
Christ.
I wouldn't put anyone off backing her for the Champion Chase because she's still a good E-trade price. I think she's about 16 to 1. If you decide, I don't know what to make of him. I don't think he's a 2 miler. He won the JLT and the Triumph. He obviously axed around Cheltenham, but his run the Champion Chase was too bad to be true. And Philip Hobbs, I thought Colin Tizard was in bad form. Philip Hobbs has well and truly knocked that out the park because he's in worse form. Rouge Vif is a decent horse, but really like put the kettle on, and we have a good price at 5 to 1.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'll go now for a sec. Definitely the side, anyone who listens to this podcast knows what I think of him. I think it's the worst decision ever to run him over 2 miles. He's not a 2 miler, doesn't jump well enough, doesn't get away from his fences well enough. He beat a pensioner last year twice, once because his legs don't work anymore, and you're giving out about veterans chases. This fella can barely walk anymore. And he beat him the second time when he had an injury and he couldn't walk, he couldn't breathe. He got tired, and now he's retired.
No, he got retired.
Yeah, now he's retired.
He was that tired, he got retired.
Yeah, like he's beat a pensioner. He's won this last year, beating Politolog, and then he gets whooped by Politolog. Politislow, sorry. If I owned him now, I would be aiming him at the King George. He jumped slow enough first. Look at one eye Tom there.
I think he needs to just get a winner first and foremost. Now, my name and
yeah, and that's even the form that he's in. Like he opened up at I think it was 5 to 4, something like that, and he's out to 7 to 4 now already. Put the kettle on. From what I hear, is absolutely bouncing, ready to go. She's been ready since the PWC Champion Chase at Gorn, so she's plenty fit. You go on to Rogue Fifth, who's comfortably held by Put the Kettle On in 2 runs that they meet at Cheltenham last year. So I have no idea why Put the Kettle On is 2 to 1 and Rogue Fifth is 5 to 2. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. There's what? I think I wrote it down. I didn't write it down. I think he got bet by 10 lengths and then even more in the Arkle. And then you have Royale. I doubt he's going to run. I don't. He ran last week in the.
If the ground isn't soft or heavy, he'll run, but otherwise, you're going to see it.
Yeah, and you've Riders on the Storm, who's
an idiot.
Wow. There you go. Duke de Geneva, not a chance in hell this thing is winning. And then you Forest Bean. Like, you take into account Hobbs' form, the fact that it's definitely the side. You've Rogue Vif, who's been whooped twice already by Put the Kettle On. You Store Royale, who's iffy if he's going to run. And you've Riders on the Storm, who probably isn't good enough. You Duke de Geneva, who's an absolute tool.
I'm really passionate about this.
And Forest Bean. It makes so much sense if you look into it properly. Phil's top horses, like you see Sport and John today, travelled like an absolute dream, jumped second last and decided to go home for himself.
You don't need to convince me. I was convinced
I know.
On Monday.
You've Rogue Vif, who was, I say again, was whooped by Put the Kettle On twice.
Has he even backed it, Dave? I don't think he has.
He backed it today.
No, I didn't. I backed it yesterday.
He waited for the all clear. We just went all in before.
We just said, let's have it.
I'm on a 5s, and it was a ridiculous price. And it's even better. It's better now that she's running. Like, I can't see her being beat. I think she's going to win it and win it comfortably. She's going to go out in front and burn them all off. That's my case. And the race broke down. Tom, go for it.
Yeah. Well, I agree. About put the kettle on. She's 2 runs at Cheltenham, 2 wins at Cheltenham. Again, Henry's not going to start her off here, just for the crack. His horses are running okay. He's had a couple get beat in the last few days that, they haven't run fantastic, but I'm sure he's not in terrible form. So I'm sure if she's going over here, she's going to be ready to rock. Yeah, look, I fancy her. She gets all the weight all around. 5-1 was a ridiculous price. We basically just tried to get on as much as we could, which wasn't a lot, unfortunately. But definitely Desoy. Rouge Vif is held, yes, on the Arkle form. He's a much
before that.
What's that?
And the run before that.
Yeah, he's a much shorter price than he would be if he hadn't had that run this season, obviously. What's that, Dave?
I was saying, yeah, he's shorter in the price because he won and he looked impressive when he won.
Yeah, which is fine, but, that form is still there. Riders on the Storm, some of the Twiston Davis horses are not running well at all either. I think I can see him definitely coming on for his run. Yeah, and that's kind of it for me, apart from Defi Desoy, who, if some of the hub horses are running well, but some of them are really needing to run, and I can see him really needing to run. You take the piss out of him in 2 miles, but he's won 5 Grade 1s over 2 miles. So, I just think he's one of those. He's a little bit like Altior. I think he tricks you. He makes it look like he's going to get well outpaced, or
he is nothing like Altior.
Why is that?
You can't even speak of him in the same bracket as Altior. If
he's
him
a
and
Altior Grade 1 winner over 2 miles.
If him and Altior met, he would absolutely whoop him.
I'm not saying he wouldn't, but I think he tricks you into thinking that he wants 3 miles, but I don't think he does at all. I think 2.5 miles, 2 to 2.5 is his optimum. But I've no problem with 2 miles. He's a 6-time winner at Cheltenham out of 9 runs at the course. Like, it's a fantastic record. The only 2 problems are, I think he's going to need to run. I can't see him winning, but his 2 absolute bomb out performances are also at Cheltenham. I don't know. I just think he should have. I don't know how he didn't win the Champion Chase last year. I thought it was a certainty after everything that happened. And then he came 5th. Came 5th to Lola in this a few years ago. So, or not in this, in the novice race. Sorry. So yeah, he's going to need to run, but I do like him as a horse. He's a lovable little thing. But yeah, put the kettle on, get in the weight. She should win. She's the price that she should be now. Though.
Like I set one thing straight with me and Defi Desoy. I don't like him as a 2-miler whatsoever. I'm one that thinks he needs a trip. He doesn't do anything over his fence, and it's not even the jumping; it's the landing. When he lands on 90% of the time on all 4s, and he has to get squeezed off his fence, away from his fence.
He does have a good turn of foot though.
That's what I'm on about. He jumps
on his good days.
He jumps economically, and he'll be able to hold the pace with 3 milers or 2.5 milers. Hence why I think he should go. King George is kind of speed orientated, 3 miles, go around there, jump to second last, kick in the afterburners. Then he has speed to win over 3 miles. I don't think. What are you on? It's not that hot. That's my problem with him. That's the only problem. He's a very good horse. He's a Grade 1 winner and all that. Yes, I can't have him over 2 miles whatsoever. I think 3 miles and then we're talking. But as of Sunday, I think put the kettle on all day long. I'll have so. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Put the kettle on.
Yeah.
Right. On to the next one. feature race of the Sunday, the Greatwood Hurdle over 2.5 miles a furlong. Dave, there's one or two you like in this. Take it away. You like the favourite, as it is now.
Like the favourite and the other Alan King horse who won it last year as well. More so the favourite, Edward Stone. He ran in the Supreme last year. I fancied him as an outsider in the Supreme, and horses second season hurdlers that ran in the novice hurdles at Cheltenham have a decent enough record in this. It used to be a better race. It used to be if you won this, you were a genuine champion hurdle contender. I don't think there's any genuine champion hurdle contenders in it this year, and there hasn't been.
I bet Andrew thinks there is.
There hasn't been in the last few years.
I'm not delusional.
But I think Edward Stone will go very, very close.
Now, who would you think then, Tom, that I'd say that I think is champion hurdle quality in this?
Well, you're going to tip up that main fact thing, aren't you?
Yeah.
But Edward Stone, Dave, I can see your point, definitely. He could be the class edge in this. The one I'm going to go for is the horse of John Joe O'Neill's called Tegarek. John Joe's in really good form at the minute. This got backs like defeat was almost out of the question at Cheltenham in October, and he absolutely bolted up that day. Won by 5 lengths going away. Look, it was a really nice performance. He's up £8 for that, but he could be one to go and improve now this season. And I really like him, to be honest.
And as Tom touched on it, I really, really like Main Fact. I've liked him since last year. I've backed him in all his hurdle races last year. He's had 2 comeback runs this season on a flat, and he's bolted up twice. So he's 8 from 8 between the flat, 2 on the flat, and 6 over hurdles. He started off this time last year on a mark of 98, and he's now rated 147. He's the most genuine horse you'll ever come across in your life. He'll be dropped out the back midfield, closer to the back than midfield. He might look like he's in trouble. He gets squeezed every now and then, but the second he hits top gear, he doesn't stop. He just keep running past horses and running past horses. And I think the softer the ground goes, the more of his stamina is going to come into play. I don't like David Pipe at all. But imagine how good this horse is if he's winning races like this when David Pipe wasn't in form. And he's winning them really, really well. He's carrying 11 stone 5. It's heavy. It's kind of a big enough weight for the size of the horse he is. But he's razor sharp fish. He's after having them 2 runs on the flat. He goes on any ground. He's won on any ground. I think everything is there for him to run a huge race, and I'm really keen on him, even at 6-1. I really like his chances. One who I would be scared of now is Paul Nicholas, Tony Moyes. I really like the way he won at Chepstow the last day. He travelled through the race, held up behind the leaders. He was keen enough. Came there swinging on the bride, jumped the last, and off he went. He looked like he was way ahead of his mark. And the second in that day, the Pinkin came second in a good race then at the last Cheltenham meeting before this one. So the form's been boosted. I think it's between them two. I just never take the Everest Stone. I don't know what it is. You like him.
He needs to settle better. If he settles better, I'm fairly sure he'll win.
Yeah, but I'm very keen on Main Fact. That's my final choice.
There's one there that if she came back to form would have a cracking chance, but it's a really big if. Is that Countessia of Nicky Henderson's and JP's got absolutely tanked at Ascot, so who knows if she'll even run, but down to 130 now. Was third in the county hurdle not last in 2019, not last season, the season before. Has a liking of Cheltenham. Disappointed a little bit in this last year, but that was off 141. Mark of 130 is definitely workable, and you wouldn't think they're keeping her in training for no reason. So
there's actually one at a bigger price I have wrote down as well is Cormier for Ryan Ellison. He's 2 for 2 over hurdles. Well, he's 3 for 2. He got pulled up in the first start last year. He's won quite good decent races. He's beat Fauvert by 3 lengths and Nella de Oro by 3.5 lengths, all very, very comfortably. He's in off 10 stone each. Danny McMenamin is booked up, taking another £3 off him. He's only a 4-year-old, but he seems to be horse on the up very quickly. He's at there racking up a few flat wins as well. Again, goes on any ground. He could be one to play a big part of big price as well. Brian Elson seems to have horses that run well at this race every year, so he might be one to keep an eye out come Sunday.
I'm going to give you a third one. This is the last one. And this would be a little bit controversial if it won, because I think this horse got banned for a few days on its first start for Emmett Mullins. But the Shunter is still very much unexposed. Ran a very eye-catching race at Tipperary. Came out and won then at Downpatrick. Went on to win then over fences by 18 lengths at Punchestown, and was then 4th in a Grade 3 novice chase. Has a mark of 118 over hurdles in Ireland and a chase mark of 132. Has had £10 added to that by the UK handicapper, so is off 128, which gives it 10 stone if Ballyandy stays in. Alan Corley has jocked up to ride, so very much looks like they're going to run, and 16s is a bit big.
Okay, fair enough, not bad. Final choices, Dave.
Edward Stone.
Tom.
Tegarek and the Shunter each way.
I'm main fact and keep an eye out for Cormier if money comes from. Right, that's what's done with Cheltenham. So now we'll head to Punchestown on Sunday as well, and we'll start 12:35 and the Florida Pearl novice chase, a Grade 2 over 2 miles 6.5 furlongs, is where we're going to see Paul Nolan rack up his second win of the day. As latest exhibition will surely take the world of beating in this, Dave.
I'd be very disappointed if he lost. You have to take into account Paul Nolan's form, but he did win the last day, and no other horse he's running is winning. He'll surely come on for that run. He jumped well enough the last day, so I'd be disappointed if he didn't win, but I think there could be a big run in the filly Courtmaid, Thomas Mullins' horse. So
Love her.
When she's on form, she's the right.
So I just noticed. It's all the fillies you love.
Yeah, I like women, yeah.
I can respect that.
But yeah, latest exhibition should win, and a big run from Courtmaid.
Tom.
Look, latest exhibition is the class angle in this, and he'll probably go and win. And best luck to him. He'll be a short price, though, I imagine. The one that's in there, and it may not win at the weekend, but it's one to mark up, I think, is a horse called Cocoa Beach of Gordon Elliott's. Ran a really nice race at Galway. Jumped really, really well. That was its chasing debut. It led alongside Forza Milana. The two of them went way clear at one stage. They came back to the field. Forza Milana went backwards, but Cocoa Beach just kept on and kept on and kept on. And I thought it was a really nice run. And he's a horse that is definitely going to be better over fences than he was over hurdles. And he was 141 rated over hurdles. Ran a nice race at Cheltenham last time in March in the Coral Cup. But just if you look at the size of him as well, just isn't a hurdler, and got hampered by that fall that day as well. So he's one that I've already got marked down for a Cheltenham handicap.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
We haven't even discussed that horse before.
Yeah. I really like him. I liked him from last year as a hurdler. There was something about him that caught my eye last year, and as you said, two of them went hammer and tongs for a long way out at Galway, and he kept going just behind Pence full of lead. I think he's a bright future over fences. He's a big boy. He's a lovely looking horse. I hope he runs kind of badly, so he gets a nice little handicap mark. Because I think he's, as you said, he's a shoe-in for a handicap somewhere down the line and one of the big festivals. But this really should be latest exhibitions for the taking if if he's any aspirations of winning an RSA. He seemed to kind of get outpaced over, was it 240 around the last day, 2.5. I think they'll use him a bit more this time, get him a bit more experience, get him a bit more attack in his fences. But he should take the beating, and I agree with Tom. Keep an eye on Cocoa Beach for the season going forward. He's going to be a cracking chaser.
It'll be interesting to see where he runs, actually, Cocoa Beach, because he's also entered in a beginner's chase at Punchestown on Saturday. Is that? Yes, Saturday. The horses in that beginner's chase, right? Asterion Falange, Cocoa Beach, Diol Kerr, and there's a few others in there. But Mount Leinster is entered as well. That looks a really interesting.
It's great to see it all start happening now.
What's that?
It's great to see them all starting to come out now.
Yeah, exactly. That Diol Kerr is really interesting. He gets put in as like near the top of the market for. It was all the novice hurdles last year. Now it's all the novice traces. And I saw him win his point to point, and he was very good. And his form in his 2 point to points for that behind that were second to Sam's profile, and then he fell while still in contention behind the big getaway. So it's incredible form in point to points. He then hammered Monkfish on his only start last season. Decided to fall at Galway in that race with pencil full of lead in Cocoa Beach. But yeah, he's an interesting horse to keep an eye on as well.
Right, we'll move on to the last race we're going to preview, and it's the Morgiana Hurdle, Grade 1, 2 mile hurdle race. So we've St. Roy, Abracadabras, Saldier, Course of Blind, Super Sunday, and Jason the Milvin. Tom, start with you. Will St. Roy need to brush up on his jumping, or is it just a matter of he turns up, he wins the Abracadabras, finds not enough bridle, and Saldier will get pulled up injured?
No, needs to brush up his jumping. Is an interesting test for him now against Abracadabras. I know you're saying he doesn't find much off the bridle, but he's going to push him, I think. And yeah, I think we'll learn a bit more about him now at the weekend. If he goes and does this well, he's very much in the champion hurdle picture. But to win a champion hurdle, he probably is going to have to beat. He's going to have to beat Abracadabras anyway. So.
What do you think?
I say Royal.
Yeah. I agree. I think St. Roy will win this. To me, he looks by far the horse with the most potential out of a lot of them. Saldier, you couldn't trust that he's going to actually. Do you know who he is? He's Willie Mullins top of the game.
Yeah,
he's Willie Mullins top of the game.
Yeah.
He's threatened to be very good, but he threatens to break his leg every time he runs. Abracadabras, I hate him. I just can't stand the horse. I've never backed him. I've never backed him once. I just don't like the look of him. He does everything a horse shouldn't do.
I literally said it.
He just goes push back the right.
I said it in the Down Patrick preview. He's liable to do anything, like run out. And what did he do? Come there, swing on the bridle. Just, I don't know. Can't be fucked with this today. I'm not going through with my effort. Oh, he's so funny.
Today he does it every day.
Oh, he's so funny. But
and when you said he's going to run through something again.
He's nuts. When you look at what St. Roy did in that county hurdle, it's astonishing for a horse that only had the 3 or 4 runs.
That was his third run, I think. Yeah.
Third run.
I really hope he can win, and we need an exciting horse for that champion hurdle.
When that was just a little sly dig at Goshen there.
Sure. Apparently, the piece of work that he did before Cheltenham last year, Willie described as the best piece of work of any horse that he had the entire year. If that's true, St. Roy will win Sunday, and he's more than likely going to be near the top of the market for the champion hurdle.
Agreed.
Don't you wish we knew that before the county hurdle?
I would have had my mortgage, and I would have remortgaged the house and put more on it.
Because we had second and third.
Yeah. When he was 11-2. Oh.
I backed him New Year's Day when he won it in Tramore. I was like, yeah, he's good. He didn't go like, oh, this fella's absolutely chucked into something. I don't know.
He's improved rapidly, and that's the hope with him. Like, he's still got to improve. Don't get me wrong, he's still got to improve, but I think he's got a rating of 156 now, so he's got another 10 pounds to go at least to be a champion hurdle horse proper.
But you take into the context of the champion hurdle this season. It's not great. Like, all he is to find with Epiton, and then we haven't seen Goshen yet. There's Abracadabra, who's never going to win a champion hurdle. Who else? No one really.
I say that actually, and maybe that's past experience I'm talking about, because Epiton won last year. She was rated 159. She's rated 162 now. I know she gets her mare's allowance, so you've got to be up around 165, 166, but yeah, she's beatable, lads. She's definitely, if a proper grade 1 horse comes along, she's beatable.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. No, looking forward to everything over the weekend. Right, before we head off, Nap's next best. Dave.
My nap is in a race we didn't cover. It's the grade 2 hurdle before the Morgiana. It's Beacon Edge.
Oh, yes.
He's turned himself into a really, really good horse. He travels unbelievably. So I think he could take high rank in intermediate kind of distant hurdles, or even maybe he's in the race and Fury Road is in it too. Maybe they're going to step him up and trip and he might end up being a stayers hurdle horse. He's my nap, and my next best is Put the Kettle
On.
Tom? Come back to me.
Every week,
yeah.
I'm trying to find my next best.
Right,
It's
my nap
is
Put the Kettle On. My next best is Main Fact in the Greatwood. And we just wait for Tom here. We just sit back and chill. While Tom is looking for this, after this video, we're going to record the first episode of this season's Cheltenham Festival. Just cut across me, why don't you? Oh. Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted by his back snapping. We're recording our first episode of Cheltenham Festival anti-post videos right after this, so two of them will be up today. So
if Tom ever
hurries up. Before this started, Tom's internet broke down, so we had to wait for another 10 minutes. Now we just have the next best ready, which we do every week.
He even made Jason late, and the man was in his hotel in Lambourne ordering his dinner.
He did, and I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, what was my next best? And I couldn't find it. And then you said it, and I was like, was that it? So my nap is Simply Bets. Gotta stick with him. And my next best is Put the Kettle On.
We're all in on Put the Kettle On. Let's do it.
Right. So that's us done for our Cheltenham Paddy Power meeting and 2 races at Punchestown. So as I said again, we are recording our Cheltenham Festival anti-post video, the first episode straight after this. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you didn't like or thumbs down. Whoever does the thumbs down, loads of people. Comment below with your best bet of the weekend.
I got some great comments last week. I loved it.
Oh God.
I've made it now. I'm getting abuse on social media.
And you won't even go in and defend yourself or abuse it back. Come on.
What's the point,
Because it's fun.
I told you, Tom. I told you before. You know you've made it when people are randomly abusing on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
You need to get on Twitter.
No,
it's great crack.
I'm actually
people abuse.
I am on Twitter. I just don't know my login.
I'll get it for you. I'll set you up new account.
Nah, it's like the PayPal thing. They fucked me as well.
I had to set them up a new PayPal account as well. But anyway. Jesus. Everyone, thanks for watching again. Give us a like, subscribe, comment below with your best bets of the weekend. And we will see you on the Cheltenham Festival preview video after this.